Thank you for the kind introduction. Namaste, everyone. Is it better?
Yeah.
Yes. My topic is two generic key concepts of Sanatan Dharm. I'll make it precise and concise and do the justice with the topic in the limited time period. After hearing to all this brainstorm, I think it has become all the way important to know what is Sanatan Dharm and then moving on to concepts of Sanatan Dharm. But even before coming to the topic, let's first understand why Sanatan Dharm, what is its significance, and why is it the need of the time today. I was listening to a very interesting video wherein it said we have moved from a generation which was based on instruction to a generation which is debate based generation. So when I say instruction based, so when we at that time they give instruction to their children and they simply follow it. Then we move to a time which is based on debate, which is based on debate. There were some disagreements. The children did not agree. They discussed, but still they followed, despite of those disagreements. Then we moved on to a generation which is debate based. For everything you tell them, they will ask questions. They are ready to debate on that. Why should we bow down to God? Does God bless only those who pray to them? If God gives the fruits of our karmas, then why should we pray to Him? Does chanting Gayatri mantra help me help me secure good marks? Or giving ahuti in the havan, does that make my life less miserable? So they have all sorts of questions. Then we moved on to a generation which is denial based. They will simply say no. They will not even bother to ask us the questions. Whatever we tell them, they are ready to say no. The question is, why such a decline? What is there which we need to look into? It is the inherent nature of each and every human being that they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to experience happiness, and there are only two ways in which they can learn. One is by environment through observation, and second is by asking questions. Question is the only way to dig deeper than where you are. Questions has always been the mode of gaining knowledge. Even if we provide them environment, still they have questions. When I said that there was a generation which was based on tradition of following the instruction, even they had questions. It's just that if they were maybe studying in Gurukul or any institution of that sort, their questions were catered to, they were addressed in that particular environment only. But question is the only way they can grow, they can know the truth. But if we are not able to give them the solutions, if the solutions or the other way around, the answers we give them, if they don't work for them, if they don't make sense to them, if they don't bring happiness to them, they will not follow us. They are at the peak of their intellectuality. They want solutions which really work for them. They are not going to follow the blind beliefs. They are not going to follow something which do not make sense to them. And that is absolutely in line with Dharma. So when I'll define Dharma and Sanatan Dharma and its parameters, I'll come to this point. And moreover, as we see, we all have seen Kerala Stories movie, wherein our Hindu girls, our Hindu sisters, they were not able to answer the question of that Muslim girl. When she asked, what kind of gods do you worship? Your God's wife is being abducted and he could not save her. He didn't know about it. And he has to take the help of monkeys to save his wife. And to those monkeys also you worship. What kind of God do you worship? At least that Muslim girl knows that there is only one and one God. But our Hindu girls even don't know the difference between God and between the Devis, between God and between goddess and God, or in other words, between deities and God. Our nation, this nation, America, this is also at the peak of economic development. Still, 70% of this America's population is on chemicals. To be helpful, to be peaceful, to be joyful, they are depending upon chemicals. Because when they don't get solutions, when they don't get the pleasures, they are looking for the alternate source of pleasures. The heaven which have been told to them, that has started to collapse in their mind, and they want to enjoy that heaven right here. That's why they are moving to chemicals, they are moving to intoxicants. So this means if we do economic development without raising the human consciousness, without raising the humanity, so that means we are taking the humanity backwards. We are giving birth to a generation which is going to be much lower than who we are, and that's a kind of crime against humanity. Now, where lies the solution? So, solution lies in Sanatan Dharm. Because Sanatan Dharm is the only dharm, as has been brought up by various speakers here, that Sanatan Dharm is the only dharm which is beyond time, which was there, which is still existing, and which will always be there. It's only to know it in its true essence. So let's first understand what is dharma. There is a very simple meaning of dharma. Dharma is never ever those so-called or man-made religions, cults, sects, or faiths. They are simply the opinions. They are simply a belief system wherein they follow certain rituals, and they have their own ways of celebrating rituals, celebrating their ceremonies, celebrating their ways of life. But that is not true dharma. Dharma means property. In very basic sense, dharma means property. For example, if I talk about fire, fire has a property of giving heat and light. So the property, so that means dharma of fire is to give heat and light. Now we are all humans. So what is our property? Our property is humanity. Our property is manobhav. Our property is to stick by those human values. As long as we are good human beings, as long as we stick by the virtues of humanity, only then we are said to be following our dharma. And to extend it a little more, in whatever station of life we are at, in whatever mode, phase of life we are at, where if I am a student, I have a different set of duties which I need to follow. If I am a teacher, I have a different set of duties. Parents have their different set of duties towards their children. And same goes for the children too. Similarly, a king has different set of duties. So dharma basically means all those principles, all those laws which govern my life, which govern my body, which govern my mind, which govern my intellect, which govern me as a soul. And Sanatan means eternal, which are universally applicable. Whether someone is a Hindu or Muslim or Christian or whosoever, underneath we